You know that feeling when winter finally starts to loosen its grip? The air smells different, the sun feels warmer. You want to open all the windows and stretch and breathe deep, just be outside again. And now imagine that feeling, but being unable to open that door just to go outside by yourself. Imagine waiting all winter long for someone else to decide when you get to step outside and experience the world again. That's often what spring feels like to our dogs. Yesterday, when I was in the city watching people walk their dogs, I saw something that honestly made my heart really ache a little bit. Dog after dog being pulled every time it stopped to try and sniff. Most of the dogs were not allowed to stop and sniff, and I can't imagine they were rushed past melting grass, the smells, the fences, that the snow was melting, and all this other smells were starting to come out of the from the snow and melting away from their frozen being buried. And they were dogs were just dragged away from these spots and hurried through the very moments that made this season explode with life with for them. It makes it so exciting for dogs. And it really made me stop and ask, are our dogs going for walks? Or are they just being marched through them? Spring is so powerful. The ground is waking up. Wildlife is certainly coming around again. There's smells, there's textures, there's sounds, there's social information in the environment, and it's all changing very rapidly. And for humans, spring feels refreshing and hopeful. And for dogs, it's a sensory explosion. I can just see how my dogs love it right now. They're a great example, but when you watch, you see it. It's a sensory just bursting with news and safety information and communication and instinct coming alive again. And for many dogs, the walk is one of the only parts of their day that truly belongs to them, because dogs live in homes. We schedule them, everything is controlled, the rules, we can create it all, they're captive. Walks may be one of their best opportunities to experience choice and expression and engage in their world in their way. When most people think about walks, they think about exercise. How far did we go? How long were we out? And how tired is my dog? But when we look through the total welfare lens, walks influence far more than physical activity. They influence in emotional health, they influence learning and confidence, they influence relationships and connection, and they also influence how dogs experience life. The five domains of animal welfare really help us understand the whole perspective. The domains of nutrition, physical environment, health and fitness, behavioral interactions, and the mental welfare, the mental state, all reflect how the dog feels about their life as a result of the first four. It all comes from the mental state as the result of all of the first four. So that's why it becomes even more meaningful to be talking about the walks. We can't fully understand those welfare domains unless we really understand why each dog experiences them differently. And that's where the legs model really comes in helpful and explains it for us, helps us to make sure we're looking at everything the dog needs and what we might be missing. Because every domain in the dog's in welfare is influenced by the learning, the environment, the genetics, and the self. And so something as simple as a walk can affect every single domain through the legs model. Nutrition one, the domain of nutrition, when we don't often think of walks as being connected to nutrition, but they absolutely are. Dogs evolved to forage, to search, to investigate their environment for resources. Movement and scent exploration activate natural feeding behavior patterns. Through the legs, dogs are gathering information about where the resources exist by exploring in the environment. If a dog's daily living environment is limited, walks may be their only opportunity to engage in natural resource searching behaviors. These are behaviors that they need to be able to do. Genetics are biologically wired to track, to hunt, to forage. Dogs just love this. When you really look at the legs model and think about the domain of nutrition, it's very much in their genetics. This is what they were made to do, to have to search for food. Sniffing supports all these inherited needs. And for the self of the dog, being allowed to investigate and explore builds confidence. It helps dogs feel secure in their ability to navigate the world. The physical environment domain, spring dramatically changes the physical environment for dogs. The ground softens and thaws. New textures appear underfoot. The ground feels different. The air carries layered scent information. There is so much happening in the spring. I don't know if many people understand how strong this is for dogs and how exciting it is as it's melting and getting the smells. And wildlife and human activity is increasing too. So they're going to, even just in the wind, they're going to smell other animals being around. And wherever they've been, there's stories all that have been frozen in layers. So as it's thawing, they're actually smelling things that are coming out. It's very exciting to dogs. And for looking at with the physical environment, if we want to talk about it through the legs model, dogs are learning to gather safety and familiarity information through movement and environmental exploration. They're outside the world. The environment may be the most stimulating and dynamic environment a dog experiences all day. And genetically, different dogs are built to engage with terrain differently. Some like to follow scents more, and some will stay on trails more. Scent trails or follow a path, but a lot will go off when they smell things. If they see movement, they get very excited about that. And some have patrol movement patterns, so they actually will be patrolling. They're very much genetics, just they're fulfilled but with putting them in the environment when they go out there and they get these walks. And for the self, the freedom to move, to investigate, helps dogs feel safe, reduce stress, and reduce stress responses. So this really is so beneficial for their welfare in the physical domain, and the health and fitness domain. Walking supports physical fitness for sure, but exploratory walking supports health in much deeper ways. If we look at them through the legs model, learning develops balance, coordination, body awareness through varied movement and environmental interaction. In the environment of dogs' daily lifestyle determines how much safe movement and opportunity they have. That's why some dogs like to climb on things and look through rocks and go in and out of things, but they'll be following their nose, and think about all that body movement and physical exercise that they get to do in a natural way. Genetics, some dogs require significantly much more movement and mental engagement to stay physically and neurologically healthy. And for the self of the dog, moving in ways that feel natural often reduce the stress, reduce physical tension, and improve the overall well-being with all that decrease of stress from it too. And the next domain, behavioral interactions. This is so important. It is the most important domain that dogs are suffering from overall, I believe, has to do with the behavioral interactions. Dogs interact with people, with other animals, and with their environment. So spring will increase environmental complexity dramatically. All of a sudden, everything changes. There's new scents. New layers of those scents. There's increased wildlife. Definitely much more of our own activity. We're doing longer walks, especially if you live somewhere like I do, where we have been really because of weather, had to stay inside for a very long time, for many, many dogs. So all of a sudden we're getting the whole life, everything, all of a sudden we're getting out more. And there's so much more social information happening in that environment that we are now putting them in, that what they are living with us through the legs model. um, still talking like with the behavioral interactions domains through the legs model, learning. Dogs are gathering social environmental knowledge through scent and observation. If we look at the environment, the walk may be the only place the dogs engage with complex environmental stimuli, from scents to sounds to people to the all being wide open or suddenly being in a busy space with people. There's so many things that behavioral interactions that are coming out in the spring and how we can help them. But first you have to understand what is going on for them, and this is it. This is what I'm talking about. So genetics, with behavioral interactions, they need to investigate scent trails. There's all sorts of wildlife signals going on. Animals are in heat. There's territorial markers are deeply instinctive behaviors. So they will do the peeing, the kicking, the making noise and stuff. That's all territorial markers and behaviors that are very important for dogs to have the opportunity to carry out, and they build their confidence and feeds their self, because with this exploration, and they're building autonomy, they're building confidence, and they're building emotional resilience. When dogs are rushed through walks, they lose these opportunities to express natural behavioral needs. And I just wanted to touch on the distance perspective. Something that I think many, many people don't realize, when dogs stay close to us during walks, which is what we expect. I was thinking about how close the leashes are. People have all the leashes so close, and they want their dog to just stay beside them and come with them and keep moving. There's many people, I think social media and commercials and all sorts of things have made us think that they're supposed to just walk right beside you. And that is very wrong. It is not true that a dog can live their life and have total welfare and a good life when they're not allowed to do what they naturally need to do and want to do. So even when dogs stay close to us during a walk, they're often often traveling twice the distance that we do. When humans walk in, while we like to walk in straight lines from point A to B, dogs move in loops, curves. They do curves. They do scents. They do trails, and they do investigation patterns. So while you may walk 2 kilometers, your dog may experience 4 kilometers of movement, information gathering, and exploration. That movement is not random. This movement by dogs is instinct, it's learning, it's emotional processing, and it's species appropriate. So, talking about mental domain, the mental state, the mental welfare of a dog, the 5th domain reflects how dogs emotionally feel about their life. This domain is the outcome of the first 4 domains. And through the legs model, learning influences whether a dog feels confident or overwhelmed. Environment influences whether a dog feels safe or restricted. Genetics influences whether instinctive needs are fulfilled or suppressed. And the self influences whether a dog feels agency or frustration. Allowing a dog to explore during a walk can directly support the emotional well being and the overall mental welfare and total welfare. So, reflecting on this relationship, I thought I would reflect on Valentine's Day, because it's about love, and February is the month of love, and we talk a lot about loving our dogs, and we absolutely love them very deeply. But love is not only about food, shelter, and exercise. Love looks something like slowing down. It looks like listening, Sometimes love looks like allowing your dog to sniff the same patch of grass for 30 seconds or 5 minutes because it matters to them. Relationships grow when both individuals' needs are feel heard. Here's something that's simple to take away that you can try this spring with your dog. Try a 50-50 walk. Half the walk, you lead, you do your regular, let's go this way. I like using the word let's go this way, not any just yanking, but going on the regular walk. You lead, you follow your schedule, you move with purpose. The other half, let your dog lead. Let your dog take the lead and safely explore wherever your dog wants to go. Encourage sniffing, follow their curiosity, and then observe what changes. Watch their breathing, watch their body language soften when they're allowed to do what they want to do and they know you're okay with it. Make sure you're letting the leash be loose while they're doing it. You can get into it. I love it getting into what they're doing. Oh boy, that must be a great piece of grass. Or there's a lot of P-mail there. There's so much information in what they are reading. And watch how they will connect with you. Your dog can and will connect with you when you take the opportunity to connect with them while they're connecting with their world, with their needs, and with their environment like they need to. Dogs are captive in our lives, even in loving homes. They are captive. It's not automatically harmful, but it carries responsibility. We have the responsibility to provide opportunities for dogs to express who they are biologically, emotionally, and socially. Sometimes that opportunity is incredibly simple. Sometimes it looks like just slowing down during a walk. So after a long, cold winter, spring reminds us how powerful freedom feels. Fresh air, new smells, sunlight on our faces. Our dogs feel that too, maybe even more deeply than we do. So the next time your dog stops to sniff, instead of asking, why are you stopping? Maybe ask, what are you discovering? There's no quick fixes in dog behavior, only deep understanding. And sometimes deeper understanding just begins by seeing the world through a dog's eyes. Thank you so much for watching today. Please share any takeaways that this is probably something I feel very powerful, and this is like gold information that people should be thinking about this topic every time they walk their dog, every time you're taking your dog anywhere. Think about what they might need to be able to interact safely and feel their welfare in the environment. Please subscribe. I've been happily growing my YouTube channel, and don't hesitate to share this with anybody that you think is struggling with their dog, and take a look at the world through the dog's eyes. Take a look at a dog's view of it all. Step into your dog's paws. Don't hesitate to book a call. I love helping people to have better lives with their dogs. Have a great day.